and welcome. My name is Ryan, or MandRproductions, and today I'm going to be reviewing the LEGO Star Wars Rogue One set number 75153 ATST Walker. It includes 449 pieces and will set you back $40 US, although Walmart and Amazon seem to have it for $32 in some places. Now, this set does include 3 minifigures, which is pretty awesome. It fits right in line with most $40 sets, and has a really good price per piece for most $40 sets, so that's nice to see as well. Taking a look at the box art, looks pretty awesome. There's some destruction going on in the background while the ATST is fighting something off to the side in the foreground. We have our minifigure Rebel Trooper over there on the left trying to shoot it, and of course Baze Malbus also doing the same from behind, and of course peeking through the eye of the ATST is the ATST driver. Around back it just shows off most of the features of the set. That includes the spring-loaded missiles, posable legs, the movable head, and the openable hatch on top, and it also shows off a picture of the cockpit, which is rather large as well, just kind of like the Imperial hover tank, which is nice. You can see the model over here on the right, along with the Imperial ATST driver there, and down below some other minifigures, Baze Malbus and the Rebel Trooper, and a little ad for the Force Builder app, which is a little bit weird. It's a little bit outdated now. It's using the 2014 Anakin's Jedi Starfighter, and this is a 2016 set, so we're getting a little bit far away from that now. It's time to change it up. And on top we have the actual size picture of Baze Malbus. Missing are the other 2 minifigures, which is a little bit weird. Usually on top you get a picture of all of them. This is the only set in the line that only shows one of the minifigures and not the rest. The first minifigure in this set is the ATST driver. He is a very nice upgrade from some of the previous versions. The most obvious change being the goggles on top of his helmet, which is pretty awesome if you ask me. That is something we have not seen from LEGO before, and I really am loving it. It's one of my favorite things about the minifigures in this set. Of course, the torso printing remains mainly unchanged. Of course, just a few little updates to the wrinkles in his clothing. Nothing too special going on there, just a different type of design with the clothing. Nothing around the sides. There's a little bit on the legs and waist, of course. Then around back, a little bit more printing, just different wrinkles than usual. Underneath, of course, he does have a second head, and that would be it, sort of a bit of a more stern look than we have on the front there, but you still get the idea that the goggles are on the head instead of being printed onto the minifigure, which is nice that they didn't screw something up like that and have goggles on the second head, because then it would look really weird, and I'm glad they really did think about that and they decided not to put the goggles on there, and otherwise they would have had to include a second helmet in my opinion. Here we have the Rebel Trooper, who is a pretty awesome minifigure. He's got a much different print than I'm used to seeing on Rebel Troopers, which is a really good thing. We have some type of pen, it looks like, in this pocket, then some type of ID badge there on the top right of his torso, which is pretty cool as well. Then we have some more holsters here holding something. There's some type of rope coming out or something there. I'm not quite sure what it is. And then there's just a bunch of other little details. You can see there might be a hood on him as well. We'll see that when we take a look around back. Some waist printing and leg printing, of course, which is pretty light. You can hardly see it. It's actually hardly noticeable. Around back, there is not really a hood there, which is kind of unfortunate. I was expecting one. I don't know why. But then you can see he's kind of tied off his shirt there, and it's kind of tight on him. It's probably more of a utility type shirt, or the word escapes me, but it will come back. He does have a regular blaster with a Technic pin added for detail, which is pretty awesome. Then of course his face is just kind of a stern one, and around back you'll see that there is no second face. That's because the open helmet kind of means you can't have it there. Otherwise you'll have a mouth on the back of his head, which will be really weird, and you don't want to see that. Of course the helmet is a new mold, looks pretty darn awesome. Lots of little details on it, lots of kind of different things going on. You can see some markings on the left side of it there, with a little silver thing here, probably for communications, radio type thing. I assume this thing here is going to be the light on it, so that's just what I'm thinking there. But all in all, this is a pretty darn awesome minifigure. I think hopefully we'll get something like this in the battle packs as well, and you'll be able to build up an army of maybe 5 or 10 of these. And lastly, we have Baze Malbus, who has a lot going on. There's a lot of eye candy here on this minifigure. First, I'm just going to start out with a 360-degree view because I think this minifigure deserves it. There's a lot going on. He's got a giant gun on him. It has a backpack connected to it with a chain. It looks pretty darn awesome, pretty badass if you'll excuse my French there. You can see it's a big gun, brick-built gun there, using, of course, a piece with a holder. You can kind of see underneath there. Pretty awesome. I like the added red, dark maroon red type detail there. And of course, this piece off of the TIE Fighter for the sight. Very, very awesome. Or it's actually a roller skate, I'm sorry. And very awesome, though. I really like that weapon. The backpack is really cool, too, and they seamlessly put it on there with the clear backpack holder type thing. Then his torso, which is what you really want to look at because there's a lot going on. Here you can see there's a lot of markings, a lot of stuff going on. He's holding a lot of things. He's got a pocket down here on his pants, another pocket or type thing. Maybe it's a rip. I'm not quite sure what's going on over there. Pockets, lots of holders for things. You can see in here there's a V type marking. I'm not exactly sure what that is. And then it looks like some braids or something of some type there. And his face looks pretty awesome. He's got a pretty sick mustache and goatee type thing going on there. His eyes look pretty cool, and then he's got this type of mark scar on his face, which is awesome. And his hairpiece is pretty slick as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at that second face and the back torso. This is the second face that LEGO put on him, and it's a much more aggressive look. I really like that face. He's like kind of, it looks like he's growling at somebody or something, and I really do like that. Then around back, you have his back printing, which is quite amazing if you ask me. There's a lot going on there. It looks like some type of transponder there. Not quite sure, of course, but lots going on the back. And also to be noted, he's got a dark red arm here and a more light tan arm here, or clothing rather. You can see it kind of matches up with his gun as well, which is pretty nice. I really like that. Of course, the back torso printing, it all kind of comes together. It's a very different type of color scheme on a minifigure than we've seen in the past, but I definitely do like it, and it's pretty darn awesome. Let's go ahead and take a look at the ATST itself. Barring the 2006 UCS ATST, this is by far the best ATST we have ever gotten, especially for something smaller. Now, this dwarfs some of the original ATST designs. I saw a picture on Instagram of the original 2000 or 2001 ATST, and it's like this big. It's crazy how far LEGO has come, and they have done a great service to such an iconic Star Wars vehicle, and I can't be happier with a set like this. It's been a long time in the making. It's actually been 7 years since we last got an ATST in LEGO, which is crazy to think. But with that being said, it is amazing. Once again, the design looks really good. The legs are posable. The head moves left and right. And I just think overall it's a great design. Now, there are a few flaws, and that being there is some lost posability in the legs. And I think it's just kind of a missing feature there, which could have been there, I think. But they just kind of left it out probably for stability reasons. And kind of might had to jack up the piece count there as well. But we'll go ahead and start at the feet and take a look at the stickers, and then I'll show you some of the features as well as we go through. But the stickers on the feet actually aren't bad at all. You'd expect the stickers to kind of be kind of bland or for them not to put any on at all, but they actually look pretty cool, and I think they add a little bit of something there to them. I think compared to most sets when you have stickers, they just kind of don't add much, but I think they do actually add something here. The one kind of flaw with the set that there is the legs are posable, yes, but they're only posable from one joint, and that's right here. So you can't really have it in a position like this because it'll just fall down. It doesn't stand like that. So you have to move them both, and then it can stand like pointing farther up, or you can move them, I mean, that's as far down, this is as far down as you can move them. So you can't have them pointing down lower. You can only move the gun lower. But you can't have him or the actual ATST pointing down lower. You can only have it go higher. And that's 2 clicks, and then it falls back. So there's really only one kind of click of posability. So you can either have it here, or you can have it here, and that's it. So there's a little bit lost there, I think. You can't have it like in the mid-run and still be able to stand, which kind of sucks, but that's okay. What it lacks in posability in the legs, it really does make up for in design. You can see the leg design is pretty darn awesome. Kind of a rectangular shape there around back. Some more detail, some added stability compared to old models as well. The feet are a lot wider and bigger to make up for the larger head and heavier design. So definitely very good design features there. I think they did a good job getting the shape correct on the head, kind of the face thing there. You can see the face looks pretty darn awesome, kind of menacing look to it. Very awesome. Then of course the spring-loaded shooters shoot very easily. You just go ahead and push in these from behind, and they'll shoot right out. You can kind of hear it there and see it in the background, but they'll shoot right out when you push these in. So pretty cool. Then if you want to move the head left and right, it's pretty easy to do. If I can go ahead and push this back down where it's supposed to be. It's pretty easy to do with this knob here, just left and right. Very easy, very cool. It kind of vibrates as you spin it so that you know you're spinning it and you know kind of exactly where it is. It does go 360 degrees, which is pretty awesome. I know on some of the older models it couldn't quite do that because the part here came down too low and would interfere with that. Of course, posable side weapons. Bring around this one. You can see that it is also posable. Very cool one here. I really like that one. It's a little bit different than we've seen before. There's some nice blue hints to this as well. You can see some blue there. There's some blue on the top as well, which is pretty awesome. And of course, the top does open right up. The whole thing just comes out, or you can either open up the whole thing, or you can just open up the small hatch if you want to have the ATSD driver holding on to there. Pretty easy to do. If you want them to be popping out of the set to, you know, take a peek around, see what's going on. That looks pretty cool as well, even though I've got it backwards right now. Flip it around, you'll see that it looks kind of like you see in Return of the Jedi. Looking inside of the cockpit from above now, it looks pretty awesome. There's a nice new print down there, or not a print, rather a sticker, but it still looks pretty cool. If you ask me, you can see its design a little bit better now. And then of course there's a bomb there, or a thermal detonator. You can stick the ATSD driver in here pretty simply. And now he's in there, and there's also a spot for his blaster back there, so that fits in very easily, very nicely. And I'll give you one more good look at this print on the cockpit, or on the control panel there. It looks pretty darn awesome. Lots of little details on there. I really like those green screens because you can kind of get an idea that it's left eye, right eye, and I really do like that as well. Unfortunately, there's not space for a second driver or another minifigure in there, really, so it's spacious enough for one. You could probably fit a second one in if you stood him back here and you took off the thermal detonator and the weapon. You could probably definitely do that, but yeah. That's the inside of the ATSD cockpit. Here's a good look at the sticker on top. Now a quick look at the instruction manual. You'll notice that the instruction manual is also square, kind of like the box, which is nice to see. It's nicely bound here, very strong binding, so it won't be ripping apart or coming apart. At least if you don't use it too much, and you shouldn't have to unless you're like me and you drop test your sets. But it's a typical LEGO instruction booklet. In the back it's got some Rogue One art. So let's try to get to the page. You can see some of the Rogue One sets and minifigures, and it doesn't quite have the same art page. There is one error in this instruction booklet. You'll notice the thermal detonator is there, it's there, it's there. You can see it right behind where the ATSD driver would sit. And then on the next step, step 95 on page 55, I'm sure this might be fixed on newer production runs, but you'll notice that it becomes just a black piece there, and that's because I guess they forgot something when they were rendering the instructions. I don't know, but it becomes a black piece, and then of course on the next step it's right back to normal. So it's just something cool that I noticed when I was building the set, but you guys may have missed, or you may not have this set, so you may not have known, but it's just a cool error in LEGO's instructions. With that being said though, guys, this set is a great set for $40. I would definitely recommend it to anyone that likes the original Star Wars movies and is excited for Rogue One and has $40 to spend on a LEGO set. It's a great set for a lower price point and will be really, really popular come December, Christmas time. So thank you all for watching. I hope you did enjoy. If you will, please leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss any of my future LEGO and LEGO Star Wars content. And thank you all for watching. Peace out.